Dr. Rahul, I would like to understand the correlation between our gut health and the
Mhm,
emotional health, because today we are, after COVID, emotional
mhm.
health or mental health is becoming the next biggest pandemic. As per the WHO, UN, everybody is talking a lot about it. So if you,
Correct.
help us understand the relation between gut health and mental health.
So the gut health, let me give you a simple perspective. In Ayurveda, there's nothing like gut health. Okay. We have something known as your Agni and your Grahani. Grahani is the area where your food digests, assimilates, and the partition of good and the bad takes place, separation of good and the bad takes place. And for this to happen, there is something known as Agni, your digestive fire, which ensures that it is properly cooked or the digestion is perfectly done. Okay. Now, for that to happen, this grahani is always has to be in the utmost proper condition in terms of its physiology also and in its structure also. There is something known in Ayurveda which is as a what you can say a disease which is similar name grahani only. Now, in this, what happens is when your digestion goes for a toss, initially you develop symptoms like acidity or acid reflux for that instance. Slow and steadily, you start having a very dry skin. Then slowly you start having hair falls or some lower back pains or aches or something. That is where the toxins actually start accumulating inside your body. Now, since it's a very primary stage, if you just fast, if you just ensure that your diet is proper, you change your lifestyle, things can be taken care of. But if you don't do that, then it enters into the stage two, where this amplifies by 10x, leading to major problems like very commonly skin infections or people having frequent fungal infections on their body in the groin or the armpit area, especially the preconditions of diabetes, like how you would have seen today, people saying the blackness around your neck and the armpit is a precursor that you might be diabetic. So, such kind of skin issues. Then, slow and steadily, it hampers your bowel habits. The way it hampers it, either you would get any time in the day or you would be constipated for a few days, and for a few days you will be having loose motions. That is how it starts damaging it. Okay. And then after during this whole process itself, either your sleep or your day-to-day body activities will go for a toss. Okay. Now what will happen is, slowly whatever work you are doing, you will start taking much more time, much more effort to finish it off. In the same way, while eating your food or digesting your food, whatever you are digesting, you would require much more time to digest it. So initially you could have four rotis, and in the next morning you used to feel hungry. Now gradually, say within 6 months of time, even if you had four rotis, you are not hungry in the next morning. You take time to for your hunger to develop. But then you need to go to work, you need to do things, you just feed yourself and you continue doing the same. So that is where it aggravates. Now, then this stage two, slow and steadily, some mental aspects start developing, commonly being getting irritable and or for no reason. Your irritability is on the high. For in women, very commonly seen are the mood swings before this periods, or some anger issues arising just before periods. This is again a symptom that arises from this whole process. And in children, usually children throwing tantrums or children having some kind of weird, I would say, some symptoms like the child unnecessarily hits everybody. People say they have anger issues or behavioral issues, but somewhere it's the gut that takes the gut that is involved in that. Now, in this stage two, if you don't do medication, don't follow strict diet, don't do anything, then it again leads to step three, which is known as a disease stage or the Grahani, commonly understood as IBS, Crohn's disease, or multiple those things. So what happens here is this whole Grahani or the जो बर्तन है जहाँ पे digestion हो रहा है,
Mhm.
that goes for a toss. Okay. Now, because that goes for a toss, so whatever is coming inside will always have something or the other as a I can say, मतलब it would be always खराब ही बनने वाला है वो, ठीक है. The digestion would always be ruined because the whole utensil, the place where it is getting digested is damaged. So how at home your mummy would relate easily to that, कि अगर बर्तन में ना थोड़ा भी खट्टा या कुछ लगा रह जाता है दूध के बर्तन में, and if you pour milk into that, that milk will always get destroyed or it will curdle up and turn into paneer or something. Okay, because that utensil wasn't clean. Now the same thing happens inside your body at this stage 3, because internally there is something abnormal that has happened. Vat, pitta or cough has stuck up inside, damaged that whole utensil, and now whatever is coming inside is always going to be on the illness side or creating illness. Okay, for that, at this stage people start complaining about IBS or IBD. Okay, where they have to go multiple times to the washroom because they aren't able to flush up. There is some sticky material coming out from the stools. That is where your mental health is totally gone, because right now your whole body is not able to maintain its physical, uh, you can say the physical aspect of it, and thereby hampering its mental aspect also. So there is something known as kala. Okay, kala is something that's an internal lining. Now, during this third stage, the internal lining of your gurney gets damaged. Okay, and therefore your mental aspect, your mental abilities goes for a toss. So people, I mean, in Ayurveda we say that uh, sa eva, sorry. Pittadhara Kala, Saeva Majjadhara Kala. So your majja or your bone marrow and those aspects of your mental aspects, they are correlated or linked through this lining. And because this lining has got damaged, therefore having a good mindset or a good mentality is very difficult. So what happens is these people now, they start getting irritated for no reason. They have so big mood swings. Someday they would be very happy, someday they would be very sad. People going into depression might have this stage already landed up. Some people going into schizophrenia might have this stage already, even though they won't have a visible IBS or IBD kind of scenario, but the whole lining internally would have got damaged and leading to such kind of scenarios. In lockdown, what had happened basically, that people were stuck inside. The food that they had during this, if you see that dalgona coffee and whatnot things, people were trying cake baking and all those things. In Ayurveda we say, if you don't have a good activity routine, okay, you're just eating and eating, the granny is the first place that is going to take a toll on. And that is what has happened, that people, number one, had such kind of diet. Number two, they were what you can say, the vaccines and whatever they had taken, according to us, they were rakta dushtikar, or the blood got disturbed, the vitiation happened inside the blood. And because of these two combo, the first thing that took a hit is your digestive system. And because the digestive system took a hit, slow and steadily, people thought it's okay to do certain things, but now it has turned into a very big problem or a challenge. Every day, we see people facing panic attacks, people facing what you call depression, sadness, loneliness, and all. These emotions were there, but now they have amplified and they are everywhere. You can see even a 13, 14-year-old guy having loneliness and depression is very difficult to actually digest it. Ki, okay, where are we heading to? But again, it all boils down to your digestive system. We need to work on that. And when I say so, sorry, just I forgot one more point. During the pandemic, because we ate all these things, the blood got vitiated. Also, the content that we were watching on the TV was a dark content. If you
Yeah.
Google and understand, from 2020, the dark content has risen multiple times. So the fear factor sets in, and this is where your urge of your body. Now, just to make your listeners understand, urge is something where the best element of your body resides. Okay, so whatever you eat after filtration for 7 stages, at the eighth stage, whatever the purest form is left is known as OJ, which is responsible for your immunity, which is responsible for your mental well-being, which is responsible for your overall health and wellness and longevity also. So this urge gets affected when you are too much feared, too much stressed, too much into panic mode, or always surrounded by panic or stress. So this gets affected. So during pandemic, your diet took a toll, your urge got disturbed, and the environment was such that it was always stressful. People were also have consuming those dark content and everything. So eventually, what has happened is the mental instability has increased, and therefore today we are landing up in something I know I call it as a mental madness pandemic, because everywhere people are so disturbed, and for them the treatment is very difficult because to make you understand, okay, boss, you need to change this because you are going to have some mental issues. It's very difficult in India. हाँ, किसी को लगता ही नहीं मैं पागल हो सकता हूँ, सबको लगता है मैं तो हमेशा ठीक ही रहने वाला हूँ, पागल तो पड़ोसी है.
Yep,
So
yep.
therefore, we have to make them understand that no, boss, even you can fall sick, you can land up into, you might have something within you, but you are not sharing. The very recent incidents of a 26-year-old uh, this employee of Ernest and Young
Yes.
committing suicide because of work pressure. Now, have been to be very honest, we people were once upon a time, all of us were into constant wars, constant into hunting and all those things as a human being. At that time the pressure was how many eggs I don't know, but today what has happened is our threshold has decreased, our oja has decreased, and at the same time our gurney, the digestive system has taken a toss. Therefore, our threshold has decreased so badly that we are not able to have a clarity that, okay, I cannot take my life. I need to find a solution for this. Had she left the company, her life would have saved. It's not that she could not have done something different, but making your mind clear, कि, okay, this is one of the options that I can look out for rather than committing suicide. That is what is Vivek. In if you know yoga, there is something known as Vivek, Dhruti, Smriti, and Vivek. Vivek is having clarity what is right and what is wrong for your body. That clarity is lacking today. And therefore I feel as everybody, I mean not only you and me, everybody needs to detox their body. They need to follow a good lifestyle, because tomorrow it won't be physical ailments that would trouble us. It's the mental health that is going to take a very big toll on us.
No, Dr. Rahul, I totally agree, and my heart goes out to the family of the girl, the case that we heard recently.
Yes,
I
really
I
saddened
have
for.
been, trying to voice my, thoughts and processes that we as organization Anya Wellness had put in, because I myself have been a student of quota, and
अच्छा.
again, quota is the conversation is a very different conversation altogether. Just one point I would like to highlight, nobody wants to take accountability and acknowledge the problem. There's a white
Correct.
elephant in the room and nobody wants to talk about it. I reached out to
Nobody will.
certain authorities. I reached out to, many people, whomsoever I could, to get things moving, to get the required resources. And nobody wanted to take that responsibility or that accountability for it. So, and above all of this, I believe communication has multiple aspects to it, because
Mm-hmm.
one is where we are very vocal about it.
Correct.
Second is where the silence becomes so loud that it's often ignored. People don't, they just put it as white noise and they ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, people really need to listen. Whenever we get time, I will share something that I wrote, when we had the incident where one of our Bollywood actors, Sushant Singh Rajput, he committed suicide. And
Correct.
one of my friends had put in that koi nahi sunta, nobody hears.
Yes.
And it just triggered some emotions and I wrote. I will share that offline with you, that particular, piece
Surely.
I wrote, because I often write poetry to express myself. And I wrote something, I'll share that with you. But the, irony of the matter is we all show symptoms, like we were talking about different signs, just helping to understand the digestion process, the gut health.
Correct.
Even mental health has a lot of signs to show. People just ignore it. If somebody is getting, anger or irritated, as you said, that people who are not having the right digestion will be getting irritated easily, they will have lash out and all those things. They're just tossed aside. They are said names. They are, their images are created, that he's so and he does like this, and nobody is there
Hmm.
to understand them. And when people take such drastic steps, when they're left with no option, they don't have any place to go. With today's IT world, and again, I met a 11-year-old girl. I was out with my
Hmm.
niece in a park. We were playing, and she had those pop-ups. There's a new game that has come in market, that rainbow color, and there are,
Yeah.
pop-ups that you keep pushing and pulling out, something of that sort. I'm not sure what it is exactly called.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I
Okay.
just asked her what's this game for? And I was
Mm-hmm.
really, stunned to hear her response. She said that it helps me, manage my stress better. I'm like, you're an 11-year-old girl. You have just started going to school. What sort of a stress do you have? But
Arey,
somewhere or the other,
people.
reflection of what they're seeing in their houses.
Yeah. See, people love to label themselves. They love to label, boss, I am stressed out. Arey, what stress would a 10-year-old have? Play, go play. Your whole stress will be taken care of. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, since you shared this interesting incidents, I'll tell you something very interesting. Like my sister, she's a year elder to me. Okay.
Mhm.
And she always says a very fascinating thing that whenever I undergo detoxification, panchakarma, the body cleansing part of it, whenever I undergo that, everything settles down. Okay. And everything looks like more Maya. Okay. So that level of clarity you get when your toxins are removed from your body. Okay, this issues, I mean, this whole goodness stays for 6 8 months if you don't follow anything after that. But if you follow everything religiously after that, it stays with you for 2 3 years. This scenario stays with you. That's my own experience. Okay, and even I have seen so many patients who have anger issues, very bad temperament, everything. After one or two cleansing processes, na, like panchakarma sessions and all, this themselves say, doctor, have become very calm now. I don't fight with my wife. I don't do things with my wife. In Ayurveda, na, Charak Samhita Sutrastan 17, I guess, 17 or 18 chapter. I don't remember the chapter number exactly. In that, the symptoms that they have said na, that your body needs to get detoxed immediately because it's on a very high toxin levels. They are so fascinating ना that you would say अरे yes पूरी दुनिया को ना अभी पंचकर्मा की जरूरत है. Number one, hot flushes. Number two, have you are not able to sit without an AC. You always need AC. मेरे को बहुत गर्मी हो रही है, AC लगा दो, AC लगा दो. When people complain that, that is where you need to get detox. Having yellow tartar on your teeth. Uh, when people say ना मेरे दांत बहुत गंदे हैं, वो
Mhm.
बार बार क्लीन कराने पड़ते हैं, that is where your body is actually requiring to detox. It shows that there is ama inside your body. It needs to get detox. Number three, having for no reason being either angry, irritated, or any such sort of spectrum problems, or even for that instance, sleeping too much or unable to sleep at all. This is where your body shows it needs to get detox. Okay. So there are many more, but just to give you an example, that even if you look at these very simple things now, you will understand, okay, I need to get detox. My body needs to get detox. These are toxins inside our body. And if you just look at any cow gully or the food place now, whatever they are selling, it's always going to vitiate your the dosha inside your body, and it's going to create some other ama leading to some other illness. So therefore, for everybody, according to your prakriti, at least once in a year, get detox. I always emphasize on that. My, I mean, I'll give you my example since last 2003, 3 or 4. I have been doing annually. I get myself detox. Apart from 2020 to 2022, those 3 years I could not. But every year I get myself detox. I go to a doctor, a senior doctor, under his guidance. Whatever he says as a good patient, I follow it. But those 8 to 10 days I give for myself, so that for the next 355 days I am able to do whatever I want to do. So that is how we all need to work. We all need to work on getting ourselves detox. Let it be a physical ailment, let it be a mental ailment. If your inner core is clean, nothing can disturb you. There is a, I mean, even if you are from a science background, you can understand whenever you put a bacteria inside a culture, okay, that
Hmm.
culture environment decides whether that bacteria is going to grow or it's going to die.
Yep.
So if my inner culture in my inner environment is clean, then how will any bacteria, anything harm me? So I need to take care of my own body. I need to take care because if I'm eating this, I need to ensure I'm doing XYZ thing so that my body is taken care, the toxins are taken care. Like if you're going for a party or wedding or something, you know you are going to be having X number of amount of food. An Indian wedding has ample amount of food and different varieties. At that time, if you are going to indulge, you want to enjoy it. But the next day, you fast, you get yourself detox, do something just to balance that. Then, if you balance it on a day to day basis, obviously there won't be anything left out at the end of the day. Your body will be okay. It's all like a credit debit ledger.
Yep. Yep.
Whatever you put inside as a credit, unless and until you debit it, you won't be healthy. Your body will always show illness till the time that it is not debited from your body.
Dr. Rahul, I just have another follow-up question, on our whole discussion around our gut health. Whatever we are consuming today, we also touched upon the diet, a little bit of diet plans at the start of our conversation as well. But
Uh-huh.
in my observation, and you can correct me if I'm wrong over in saying this, but whatever we are consuming, specifically in the metro cities, be it air,
Mm-hmm.
be it water, be it food,
Mm-hmm.
or be it
Mm-hmm.
emotions,
Mm-hmm.
everything is adulterated today.
Yes,
Then
it's totally adulterated.
with so much adulteration, how can I ensure that the quality of, energy sources I'm giving to my body, they are gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
me on the right track?
That's very difficult to do in a metro city because there are so many variables beyond our control. I mean, I cannot go and control the food and drug food association to give me the best of the wheat, the best of the rice or something. Okay, if I have sources, that's a different ball game. But it becomes very difficult for a layman to actually balance things.
Yeah.
Okay. And secondly, the air pollution, nobody can do. I mean, in my own area where I reside in Mumbai, there are redevelopment going on. It's totally dust and pollution everywhere. So if I have to say I need a clean breather air, possible ही नहीं है. Everywhere it's all dust, dust, dust because the buildings have been broken down, fallen down, new construction is coming up. So getting a clean air, clean water and everything is very difficult in today's world, especially with such a big population. Uh, most of the land being used right now for either construction or factories and everything. So slow and slowly, the farming land is getting smaller, and the pressure is on the farmland to ensure that 1.3 billion, 1.4 billion people are taken care of. So that would be a very difficult scenario for us to control. But again, the simplest thing is to get detox, because unless and until inside your body the things that even see, these things are not under our control. What is under my control is my internal environment. So once I keep myself detox, I try to have sources who give me good organic food without adulteration and all those things. If I have those sources, if I have that right amount of money to go for it, definitely go for it. If not, at least get yourself detox in a simpler way, because at least it will ensure that 60-70% of the side effects of all these things will be taken care of or would be saddened off. The remaining would definitely trouble you. That is beyond anyone's control. So, if you are able to have some farmhouse or something, in today's world, I always feel staying in the metro is a very bad thing. You need to go outside of Mumbai, because there at least you have a good fresh air, everything, and everything can be managed through internet today. That's the best part of this whole generation right now. You can do things virtually, just get it done from any damn where, and things can be taken care of. But if you are living in the metro city, all you can do is follow three things: have a good sleep at a good time, have a good diet, whatever you are having, like a roti sabji dal chawal. Don't indulge into fancy foods and those roadside foods and all. Have a simple roti sabji dal chawal homemade. And lastly, indulge into very minimal sexual activities. I'll take a point on that later, but indulge into that, because Ahar, Nidra, and Brahmacharya, these are the tripods of your health. Okay, when I say a tripod, your whole health depends upon these three things. And once you get detox, you actually take care of all these things, and therefore your body is able to sustain. Okay, now just to come back to the sexual indulgence thing, again, the oja is responsible for the vitality of your body, or the vigor inside your body, the semen. So, if you must have heard in yoga, they say preserve your semen, then it elevates your chakras and it reaches to the top and all those things. That happens through oja. Like I said, the best part of all the seven elements after digestion, that best part is actually responsible for creating that energy to move up inside your body. So, therefore, for anyone who indulges into sexual activities for pleasure, and that too at a very high rate, it's always bad. And the worst part, getting thinking, doing things like a porn activity is the worst case scenario that anybody would expect in one's life. But yes, indulgence into sex for progeny purpose is always yes in Ayurveda, in any Indian system, or yoga also for that instance. But indulgence into sex for pleasure is always a no-no, because the lesser you indulge into those things, the better it is. But there is a catch right now. Okay. This catch is because we are too stressed as a human being. People, especially men and women, especially men, they tend to indulge into social, extra sexual activities, because it helps them relieve that stress. Even in women, for that instance, it seems, but the percentage of men is more compared to women. So, therefore, having sex for pleasure right now as a treatment part, I do suggest certain people, because for them, in their husband wife marriage is on the lines because of that constant stress they are in. And only thing is, when they get into all these activities, they need to have some set, I mean, I would say a clean look chahiye towards sex. It should not be that porn star sex and all those kind of things. But
Mhm.
yes, they should have a clean feeling towards that sex. And even though it's for pleasure, so it has to be, because I have seen, I've of late read a lot where people are indulging into, I don't know what all terms they have come up with, some breadcrumbing and all those kind of things. These things are okay for fashion things, but not in the long run, because whenever you get into sexual activity, you are actually, it's an energy exchange if you actually see.
Yep.
So therefore, in yogic practices, even in tantric practices, there has to be a very limitation into sexual activity. So getting into sex for pleasure right now for your mental well-being is good. Again, it has to be in control. You cannot go haywire with that. But also at the same time, always remember, the less sex you have, the easier it is for you to have a very good mental and physical health.
That's a completely new perspective, I got to know today. I did hear about conserving semen, not getting indulged a lot for the energy levels and chakra healing, but
Correct.
the whole aspect was completely new to me. Dr. Rahul, there are so many questions, and I took the liberty of writing a new topic to do another episode with you at my end.
No problem.
But yeah, I will just have one final question being asked with you from you
Sure.
is the way things have evolved after pandemic. We have
Hmm.
seen a lot of deaths happening because in early ages because of heart strokes and
Correct.
the cases of depression, anxiety rising at a very haywire rate. What's your guidance to the public out there? What things can they plan better or do better to battle these things out? Because some are saying it's because of the side effects of the vaccines we have taken. Now we have taken the vaccines, we cannot undo it.
Undo
How
it.
do
True.
we combat it better for a longer and a healthier life, more than longer, a healthier life out there?
There's a concept in Ayurveda where we say Rakta is Jivan. Jivan means your life. Okay. So having a healthy blood is something that you always need to be focusing on. Okay. I'm just giving you in a very layman language to make
Mhm.
your audience understand what they need to do.
Yeah,
Okay. So keeping your blood pure or white, the best form is always necessary. Though in the olden days, your granny or everybody used to say, "Beta ye khaya kar, isse khoon saaf rehta hai, pimples nahi aate hain." People used to
yeah.
take it for that instance. But actually, whatever activities they told you to do, na, it was for your well-being. A best example is our traditions. Okay,
Mhm.
whatever traditions we have during a certain period, like right now we'll be having Diwali coming up.
Yes.
Okay, so in Diwali there is something known as Abhyanga Snan, commonly done in Maharashtra and Gujarat side, this
Okay.
western part of India and the southern part of India. That is done on the next day of the Diwali, where the new year begins. Okay, so us din na people get up, they do a oil abhyangam or a oil massage on their body, and then they scrub it with some powder, uptan they call it as.
Yeah.
Okay, the whole idea is because Diwali ensures that now the season has changed from Sharat or the autumn to the early winters, Hemanta.
Yeah.
So in Hemant and Shishir Ritu for the next 6 months until Holi, it would be a cool and pleasant climate. At that time, your body needs something extra, and therefore the simplest way is to do an oil massage for your body for its longevity as well as its cleansing. So therefore, people older days used to apply oil, especially right now also in Himachal, Haryana, Punjab and all those places. People have a tendency to do oil massage, सरसों के तेल से मालिश करते ठंडियों में,
Yeah.
and then they have a bath on these things. This is a tradition that has to be followed everywhere to keep your body normal. Okay. Similarly, during the Feb March time, at that time there are traditions where people eat neem ke patte
Yeah.
along just to purify their body. That is done to purify your blood again. Okay, so there is a tradition in Andhra Pradesh and those areas where they use neem bark, neem leaves, neem flowers. They make it a paste and then they add very little small portion of jaggery and they consume it for 7 days or 8 days during that Gudi Padwa period. So with that, all their kaphas and blood issues are taken care of. So when I learned from my friend about it, I started using in patients. So people who have skin disorders started having lesser frequent skin disorders once they did that during those 7 days of that Chaitra month. So these all traditions were very much simplified and inculcated into a system. But the only thing was we as a poor people did not know the background of or the science or the logic behind it. We were
Yeah.
told करना है तो करना है, and today we are rebellious कि क्यों करना है. But actually it had a very big background or a very big thinking behind it. So doing things which are traditional is always good, even if you are from a other part of India, settled into a different part. Follow what is the local culture there, because at the end, your body, wherever you are residing, your body has to follow things which are local, and you have to follow the traditions locally because you are going to be in that environment forever. So for that again comes following that your blood will always be in its utmost peak or the best form. So your body won't fall sick. Secondly, you can do is you can donate blood. Only thing is donating blood process in Ayurveda is a bit different than what they do there. I'll give you an idea. I'll give your listeners what they need to do also. Every year during the Sharad Navratri, the October heat,
Mhm.
always go for blood donation if you are eligible for blood donation. Always go for blood donation. Only thing you have to do is a day prior, have a full body massage, okay, with steam. The next day morning, again, just do a oil massage at with on yourself, yourself, and have a warm water bath. After the bath, have a big bowl of soupy khichdi, okay, rice and moong dal, but in a watery state. Have a bowl full of it, and then go for blood donation. After the blood donation, don't have those biscuits and all those things which they provide. Just again have a little bit of moong khichdi there itself and come back home and take rest for the whole day. If you do that, your body will actually release all the toxins from your body. What happens is, what we usually do, we go to the blood bank, we tell them, I need to donate blood. So the toxins are stuck up somewhere else inside the body and they are not circulating inside your body at that very moment. So therefore, even if they remove the blood directly, your toxins won't go away. But in this case, your toxins will be flushed off from your body, so therefore you will get the other benefit. And secondly, since the toxins have gone out of your body and even the blood has gone out of your body, your digestive system becomes weak. Therefore having those tea, coffee, biscuits won't, your body won't be able to digest it again, a new toxin would be created. So just to avoid that, come have khichdi there, come home, take rest. Again at night, have just dal rice. Next day, have simple dal rice sabji. And from third day, have your regular food. That's it. Things will be taken care, no toxins being formed, everything being okay. So that would be helpful to keep your blood very good, in a very good situation. And trust me, today, let it be cancer, let it be anything, it has to do a lot with two things, your blood and internal digestive system. So therefore, if we take care of these two things as a layman, we all will be good to go. Everything would be set. Maybe it has a crux to decrease the number of diseases which we all are facing, because whatever we are eating today is all blood vitiating according to Ayurveda. We have too much of salt in the form of chaat masala, garam masala, चटपटा बनाने के लिए ऊपर से थोड़ा डाल दिया, or else we have too much that is sour in nature. Pani puri, bhel puri, uh, you can say these pastas go for a different level. Uh, Pani puri, bhel puri, then you have these farsans, then you have this, what do you call, salads and everything. You put squeeze a lot of lime and all those things again, sir. And thirdly, you have a lot of viruddhahar. Viruddhahar is where two things individually don't trouble you, but when they come together, either outside while preparing or inside while consuming, it is vicious for the body or a slow toxin for a body. Okay, so very common example, chai nashta. You have some breakfast, you have a milk tea above it, or the mummy forces a child to have milk and eat something, or else pasta is the best example where you use milk as a base to create that gravy, then you put in salt, spices, and everything, and then you make it sour. Sorry, you make it salty. Okay, so these kind of combinations, a milkshake for that instance, these are all viruddhahar. These things are going to damage your body no matter what. So if we take control of all these things, automatically our body would be in a healthier state. Our health would be in a good state. Our blood won't be vitiated. And eventually, we all would have a good life, emotionally, mentally, and physically. All three ways.
Dr. Rahul, I have a lot of questions to ask from you, but I will be, holding my thoughts and taking them to the next episode. So thanks a lot,
Definitely.
Dr. Rahul, for coming on this episode and sharing the wisdom with our listeners. And listeners, if
Uh,
you have any questions for Dr. Rahul, please feel free to comment, on our episodes on the different platforms where you're listening. And please do subscribe to us to help us grow further and bring such more interesting and invigorating episodes for you. Until then, thanks a lot. And once again, thanks a lot, Dr. Rahul, for coming on the podcast.
Most welcome. Thank you so much. And I always wish that Lord Dhanvantari bless everybody on this earth and we all get healthy. Thank you. Thank you so much.